everybody, I'm Jay Martin Jr., the storyteller, and I'm here at the iconic Paramount in Seattle, and it is absolutely spectacular. Welcome to the third episode of the Heart of Heritage series. This month, we're celebrating AAPI heritage, honoring the richness of culture, identity, and the power of storytelling. There's so much to learn from the voices and experiences that shape our world, and I'm excited for you to be a part of this journey. Let's dive in. Thank you for sitting with me.
Of course.
I am so grateful for this moment. And for those of you that do not know, I am sitting with the great Kate Takata. We're celebrating AAPI month, and I'm super just grateful to have moments like this where people's voices can be heard. And the interesting thing about you is that you're usually behind the scenes,
oh, yes.
But today I'm bringing you to the forefront.
We're in front of the camera.
How do you feel about this moment?
You know, it'll be different, but we'll get through it. It'll be great.
We're gonna get through it. We're gonna just be amazing here. We both have our little something to drink, you know, just to maybe quench our thirst. Okay, so I want to get into it with you. This conversation matters. We've been in this series. This is the third episode. I'm just overwhelmed and grateful. But I wanted to ask you this question. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, where you are from, and how has your heritage shaped who you are today?
So I'm originally from Beaverton, Oregon, just outside of Portland. My family is on my dad's side is all Japanese.
Okay.
On my mom's side is Maltese and Ukrainian.
Oh, wow.
And then both my parents are also from Canada, from Toronto originally. So there's a whole blend.
Yeah, sounds like there's a whole
family.
world right there.
And, you know, it was really lovely growing up in a place that had such strong connection to the AAPI and Japanese community in general. I was surrounded by lots of friends who were either full or part Japanese or Filipino, Thai, Korean. Growing up, it was really lovely just to be surrounded by people who kind of looked like me. And then I went to school in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota.
Oh my goodness.
And that was very different.
The cold too, right? Freezing.
Chilly.
I'm from Buffalo, so I understand some cold.
Yes. It is amongst the cornfields.
Oh yeah.
In Minnesota, and stuck out a little bit more out there. But it never felt truly uncomfortable. It was just, oh, this is different.
This is different
than what I'm used to, you know? And that's kind of the way it's been for a long time ever since. But now back in Seattle, it's nice to be in a place that's a little bit more diverse than.
And you feel more seen here.
I do.
Than back in Minnesota.
Yeah, a little bit. Or at least seen in a different way. Okay. Because in school, I was seen as like, oh gosh, there's an Asian person. Wow. An Asian person. So different.
Oh my
goodness. And now here it's like, you know, I'm seen as Asian, but also I'm just me.
Right. Well, what does being part of the AAPI community mean to you, especially in your line of work?
I don't see a lot of people who look like me, especially working backstage.
Yeah.
It's getting there. It's getting more diverse.
Yeah.
But I see my role as kind of being like, may I be the first, not the last.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And when I do see people who look like me backstage, there's just that like extra feeling of like warmth and being like, I see you.
Yes.
Oh, that's very cool that you're here too. We are here together in this place that has not always necessarily been the most welcoming for people who look like us.
Right.
Yeah.
In an industry that often operates behind the scenes, how often, or I'll say, how important is it for you to feel seen and heard as an AAPI professional?
I think I carry a lot of labels with me when I walk into a room, especially working in an industry that has been historically white and male.
Yes.
So not only am I coming in as Asian, coming in as an Asian woman, a lot of my coworkers, they're like, so tall, so tiny Asian lady just running around. Oh my
goodness.
I'm here to be myself and bring all of that like pride of what my family has, like the history behind my family. I'm just here to bring that kind of perspective to work with me.
So what made you want to get into this line of work? Because you have some titles. You have some titles. And what made you want to get into, this line of work, pursue this career in like theater production? And how did you even get started in this industry?
I was always a theater kid growing up.
I'm one too, yes.
In my neighborhood, my friends and I would put on plays for our neighbors.
Oh, wow.
We had like technical production and everything.
Oh, okay.
They had like a 2-door garage. So we would do one scene in front of, with one door open, and then someone would run to the back and they would push the button and the other door would
You
go.
were all in.
We were in it. And then that kind of fed all the way into high school when I was in the plays in high school.
Okay.
And I was also a choir kid for the majority of basically all through college.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way in college, I realized how much I loved lighting. It also started a little bit in high school. And I realized that I felt like I would have more of a chance to work in the theater industry in general, working on the technical side as opposed to being an actor.
Right.
So I left the stage to other people.
Okay.
And decided to move forward with technical theater from there. Realized after college, design, while sounding very impressive, maybe not the most like lucrative.
Okay.
So
because theater's like it's almost like a labor of love. It's like you got to have a passion for it.
Yes.
You don't go into it like I'm gonna make millions of dollars. I'm gonna be rich.
No.
Theater is about heart.
It really is. And so I figured if I want to be in an industry that I love, but also kind of like make a living.
Yes.
Backstage is where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've worked in so many roles. Lighting design. Let's go through your list of greatness. Automation technician, electrician, carpenter, props, and more. What excites you the most about what you do?
These days, opening night of a Broadway.
That feeling. And I'm just coming to attend.
Exactly. During a Broadway, I usually run a spotlight.
Okay.
And the excitement and like jitters of running that track without any prior knowledge. You're just going with what the road person who's also running a spotlight is telling you to do.
Okay.
So there's just lots of like high energy, super focus, like trying to do as good a job as you can, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
I love that feeling.
Have you ever had the moment where it's like, it's not working? It didn't, or maybe it didn't go as planned? How do you maneuver through that? Do you like, I failed? Or do you just be like, we'll try again another time?
The thing about running a spot is that you can't hold on to your mistakes because chances are they're coming like super fast. And so you mess up, you go, well, we'll get it tomorrow night, move on.
Right.
And just hope that you don't make the same mistake twice.
Wow. Have you faced any challenges as an AAPI professional in the theater world? If so, how have you navigated through that?
Not so much anymore. When I first got out of college, my first job was touring with Sesame Street Live.
You did Sesame Street?
She did Sesame Street.
What? Oh my gosh.
Make a new friend.
Grouch.
Oh yeah. They were all my best buddies.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
And taking that show across the country as the only woman on deck in the crew.
Okay.
Presented some challenges, some like awkward situations to kind of
give me one if you can, a little.
We were somewhere in the South.
Okay.
And the house electrician, this is like older gentleman, and as we were getting ready to load the show out of the building, he made some comment like, when you go back to your country,
no,
you have to tell me so that I can come with you to find a girlfriend. And I went, oh, okay, cool.
And end of scene.
And just,
no,
just
that's
like,
not funny. Wow.
Thank you, sir. And just kind of, it's just things that you have to, if you don't have a sense of humor or an ability to kind of just go, we're leaving.
Right.
I'm probably never going to see this person again.
Yeah.
It can be challenging. So
this moment is about celebrating AAPI voices and stories. What does it mean to you to have this platform to just share your journey?
It's such an honor. You know, it's really, we're at a time now where there's been more representation on stage and in media, which was something that I didn't have like in high school growing up, kind of thing. When I graduated, one of my friends gave me a soundtrack of Avenue Q and Miss Saigon, because those were like the two shows that had AAPI people in them. And now, like, we have shows like Hamilton, and there's another show, I think it's like some Happy Endings or something like that on Broadway. Seeing myself more or people who look like me more, is just, it feels so good. And for me to be like a tiny, tiny part of that is really lovely.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like it's tiny, but whether you realize it or not, it's huge. You know, even just within STG, for you to like sit and just share, it's like, people dream of, I wish I had a space where I could just tell a story. Yeah. And that's the importance of storytelling, you know? So I appreciate you for just doing this. Okay, we have one more question.
Of course.
What advice would you give to young AAPI individuals who want to pursue a career in theater or behind the scenes production?
I would tell them the same thing that I tell a lot of other like young stagehands. Always be curious, ask questions. Just don't be afraid to ask questions. It's better to ask and get an answer than to try and like struggle and try and figure something out yourself and waste a whole bunch of time. Because we work in an industry where like, we got stuff to do. Right. We've got opening night curtain. Right. We have to be done. We have to be ready to go by then. So ask questions, be inquisitive, be open to learning. And then for AAPI people, on top of that, it might be a little lonely because you're not gonna necessarily see other people who look like you maybe right away, but be yourself, and you'll find your people. You will.
I like what you said in the beginning. You said you may be the first, but hopefully you're not the last.
Exactly.
So I'm believing you will not be the last doing stuff like this.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
It means so much.
Oh, I love it.
Grateful for you.
Yeah, thank you.